Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl MovieBae, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a review over Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 7, okay? Ace the Explorer, Ace don't call me babe, Ace don't touch me, don't kiss me, no cuddling Ace. Ace, this is not Friendship Island Ace, okay? Ace had me scratching my head this entire episode with a screwed up face like, boy, what? Well, before we get too into it though, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Here on MovieBae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that's the type of content you like, then you are in the right place, okay? If you find yourself enjoying my commentary, please give the video a thumbs up. And of course, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, okay? I'll meet y'all there. Now, if you are new here, how we do this review is we go storyline by storyline, and we're going to get into the deets of all of these couples. Just to let you know, I skipped Charlie and Hannah because who cares? They didn't talk about nothing. All they do is kiss, okay? So we got them out the way. Look, 60 seconds in and we already one couple down, okay? So, of course, episode 6 was the recoupling. A lot of us were left gagged by some of the guys' choices, but I was not gagged by this one, Nick and Sierra, okay? So of course, after the coupling, everybody has to do their little debrief. And Sierra is checking in on Nick because, of course, Nick had a conversation with Bella when she left. And he basically was like, well, she felt like I gave her a false sense of hope. And then Sierra was like, well, why would she feel like that? Were you saying certain things to her? Or were you telling her some of the things that you were telling me? And he was like, no, not really. I just told her, that I like both of y'all and I was interested in both of y'all. And I'm sitting there looking like, Nick, you're definitely downplaying it. The false sense of hope could probably be, I don't know, tonguing her down in soul ties. The false sense of hope could be telling a girl that it went from 60-40 to a 50-50. That could be the false sense of hope. But at the same time, Bella, he said 50-50. She never said 100% you. So, I mean, he definitely didn't help the delusion that you were facing, okay? But Sierra and Nick, they're so happy because they don't have to worry about hurting anybody's feelings. They can do PDA openly and all they want. And Nick is happy that he can give 100% to Sierra now. And my girl deserves that, okay? But let's continue, shall we? If y'all have run across my short, I did a short about Alandria running her mouth and blurting out that Nick was tonguing down Bella in Soul Ties, unbeknownst to Sierra. And I really didn't appreciate Alandria saying that. Now, when I saw the full clip, it definitely did just seem like a girl's powwow, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm still not there for her blurting that specific thing out and just assuming that Nick told Sierra about the kiss, because when you assume, you make it out of you. Okay, and that's exactly what you look like, in my personal opinion. Matter of fact, so much so, the narrator even said, it's not don't kiss and tell, it's don't kiss because Alandria will tell. I'm just saying. I'm not, y'all already know I'm not supporting Nick in his choices. I was really, really mad at Nick for doing that. But I also am not here for Alandria just bursting that out like that. But Alandria and Shelly give Sierra the advice because she didn't know. Just like, hey, play it cool tonight and then just bring it up tomorrow. Give him another chance to try to, tell you on his own tomorrow. Now, Sierra didn't really do that because Sierra has been worrying the entire day about how she doesn't want to build upon a shaky foundation. And that's 100% understandable, because if you don't tell me this, then what else are you not telling me? You know what I'm saying? So she has a conversation with Nick, and she didn't give him the opportunity to tell. She did not give him the opportunity to tell him herself. Tell her himself. What she did was, so you was never going to tell me about that kiss? I was like, damn. I like Sierra. Sierra is like me. It's like, I'm going to try to filter this as nicely as possible, but I got to say what's on my heart, because F that. So you wasn't going to tell me? And of course, Nick is caught off guard. And his answer is like, I debated on whether I should. And then it was kind of like the last thing on my mind. And she was looking at him like I was looking at him like, boy, shut up. Like, that's BS. I hate that for you. I hate that you were debating if you should tell me some information, important information. I hate that you were debating on telling me and saying that it was insignificant or it wasn't on your mind. I hate that for you, sir. But of course, she tells him that, she felt stupid because everybody knew but me, Avi. Nobody wants to look stupid. Nobody wants to look stupid. And I said that same thing. Like, Bella felt like Nick made her look stupid by choosing Sierra. Girl, bye. this, like I said, this is making somebody look stupid. I'm all with you. It's day 2 as a couple. You toasting with me, you kissing with me, we in the photo booth, and 5 minutes prior you was tonguing somebody down. Like that's how you make somebody look stupid. But he also stated that, that he didn't really want to or know how to have the uncomfortable conversation. And Sierra was like, well, there will be more uncomfortable conversations that need to be had. You don't need to shy away from it. What you need to do is be open so we can communicate, so we can get that out the way. I really felt like this was a very good conversation for both of them to have. The only thing is I didn't want Sierra to fall victim to Nick's puppy dog eyes. Nick is very attractive. He is very handsome. He does have that like, oh, okay, babe. But definitely stand firm, stand your ground. And honestly, me, one more mess up and you done. Like, you're done. If you forgive him for this, one more mess up and you're done. I already feel like I already feel like Casa more. I already feel like Nick is going to play my girl Sierra, which is the only reason why I didn't want him to choose her, because she deserves better. And I just feel like at Casa Amor, he gonna act a fool. And like I stated, if you got one more chance, boy, and then after that, it's around for you, baby. I feel like I said it every episode, bro. It's a wrap. Okay, let's go ahead and go over to Blabbermouth Alandria and Taylor. So, let's talk about the gist of their entire, I guess, conversation. So we know, and I don't know if y'all know, but I've been knew that they were not effing with each other like that. It was definitely giving friendship vibes. And as previously stated, I feel like being friends first is very important. However, last episode, Alandria says, in the real world, I'm a slow burn. That's what she said. Right? And then she also stated like, even today we're sitting closer, even though they was far as hell away from each other. But I was like, okay, so I'm thinking, and this could just be based on the edit, but I'm thinking it's Alandria that's the issue. You know what I'm saying? But we find out that, and maybe that's why Taylor is confused, because at one turn you're telling me you're a slow burn, and the other turn you're telling me you want affection. Like, I'm confused. So anyways, I guess after that conversation, Alandria decided to wake up in the morning and cook breakfast to reel her man in, because in her little introduction video she said that she could cook, and the best way to a man is through his stomach and stuff like that. So she's like, she gonna make him breakfast or whatever. Now while she cooking breakfast, Taylor is over there talking to Ace about how he can't force a connection. If there's no physical attraction, there's just no physical attraction. Now hindsight, I don't know if he was talking about on his end or on Alandria's end. But looking at the rest of the episode, it kind of feels like it's on his end. Like, I feel like maybe he don't really like Alandria like that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to read these two. But during another conversation, Alandria finds herself comparing them to others, saying that, everybody else is moving fast and they're holding hands and kissing and cuddling. And I hate to compare myself with other people, but I feel like our actions aren't matching our words. And I'm over here like, one, that's the mess up. That's the first mess up. Why are you comparing what we have to other people? We are not other people. You aren't, what's that girl name? Huda. You're not Huda. You don't fall in love in a day. And I'm not Jeremiah. I don't fall in love in 2 days. So like, why are you comparing what we have to what they have when we're clearly 4 different people? You know what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense. And then on top of that, the previous day, you stated that you're a slow burner. So now the fact that I guess he's respecting her boundaries, now you're comparing me to other people? Now you want affection? Do you just want affection because other people are being affectionate? They making my head hurt, bro. I feel like I'm thinking too hard. I feel like I'm thinking too hard. Later on in the conversation, though, Alandria tells Taylor that she doesn't feel secure. She doesn't feel confident. And I guess that could come from him not being affectionate or physical with her. And that's what makes me kind of think like maybe he not effing with her. But he stated in that conversation that there are things that I can do. Well, he said, first, I apologize for making you feel less than you are. I would never want to do that. And there are things I can do better. And then that was the end of the conversation. I'm like, bro, they always end a conversation too early. Because I would have asked him, what are some of the things you think that you can do better? Because I could tell you yes or no. You know what I'm saying? I could reassure you, like, yes, that'll work, or no, that won't work, or that's not the issue. Or, you know what I'm saying? They always cut the conversations too short before you can even get to the meat of it. Surface level ish, bro. Surface level. These kids, child. Anyways, so he said there's some things that he could do better. And then when they're walking away, he asked for a kiss. Well, he didn't ask. He said, "Give me kids." I was like, "Okay, give me kids. Okay, give me kids." And she was like, "That's the first time we kissed outside of a challenge." And he was like, "Yep, I know." And then they went to the photo booth, and it seemed a little forced at first, but then it did become more natural. Like they were getting comfortable taking pictures, just smiling, and then doing some kissing photos as well. So I kind of like that for them. I kind of like that for them, but I okay. So let me, in conclusion, because I tell you, bro, this couple is making my hair hurt now. In conclusion, I don't think Taylor is attracted to Alandria. I do feel like he's trying to step it up a little bit because some male bombshells. I mean, if you watch the show, male bombshells are coming in next, and the girls will be choosing. So if you want to stick around, even if Takasa more to see if you find a connection, you are gonna have to step it up, or she might rematch with somebody else. That's how I feel. That's my conclusion when it comes to this couple. Okay. All right, let's proceed. Let's proceed, shall we? This is a good one. Let's talk about Huda and Jeremiah. Before we do that, though, Alandria is becoming a little bit of a hater. Ace has sucked Alandria into his We Hate Jeremiah club. And they're talking about how Huda and Jeremiah's connection seems so fake, and how Huda likes him, how Huda likes Jeremiah way more than he likes her. And they're just, yeah, that's it's a whole We Hate Jeremiah club at this point. And Olindria says she's not gonna say nothing to Huda about it. She's just gonna help feed the Delulu. But Huda and Jeremiah. Huda is reflecting on how men are so unpredictable and how she didn't see that coming. And it's so scary how men can be like that. And Jeremiah's like, men could be like, wait. I said, uh-oh. You know, just unpredictable. Like, we didn't know that he was going to choose her. He was like, well, women can be like that too. And I was like, touche. Women can be like that too. And I was like, oh, we about to see. And you know what? I feel like Jeremiah wasn't rocking with what Huda said, but he was also like, it's not worth arguing over. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, some of my requirements, I'm not going to lie, some of my requirements when I talk to somebody, especially new, I do ask them questions like, do you listen to podcasts? What type of podcast do you listen to? Because me personally, I hate a podcast. Nigga, I hate Kevin Samuels asking. I hate a Joe Budden. I hate what's them boys? I can't even think of their name. They had the very controversial. They hate black women. I don't know the two guys, but I hate a like that. I hate academics. Like, I don't like podcasts. I don't. So I ask requirements like that because it tells me about, you know, the type of that you is. You know what I'm saying? Not all podcasts are, you know, bad, but it's those type of podcasts that I don't. That'll tell me right there. Another question I'll ask is like, what do you think about the Haley Bailey and DDG situation? That'll tell me a lot about you. What do you think about P Diddy and Cassie? That'll tell me a lot about you. What do you think about Meg and Tory? That'll tell me a lot about you. That's all I gotta, bro. I gotta see your views, because if our views don't align, I promise you, the type of person I am, we're gonna be arguing every day. Matter of fact, no, we're not, because I'm not gonna want to talk to you. And it's not the fact that, you know, everybody needs to think like me. It's not that at all. It's definitely just more so like that tells me about some of your ideologies. And if our ideologies don't align on certain things, then I can't with you. You know what I'm saying? But Jeremiah isn't one of those. Jeremiah was like, it's not worth arguing over. It's whatever. Love you, babe. Mwah. This part right here. So Jeremiah was like, you know, I'm happy that we, you know, our bond is so strong. Now I could just put the pedal to the metal and really get you to like me more and more every day. And Huda says, you don't have to try. When I tell you I threw my pen down, I said, oh, hell no. Bitch, you what? What? She told Jeremiah, you don't have to try to get me to like you every day. Like, you don't have to try. Like, I already like you. No. You need to try every day. Every day you need to act like this is our first date. You need to convince me that you like me every day, that you love me every day. And vice versa. But like, what? You don't have to try? Stop it. Because when you tell a man he don't have to try, he won't. And he'll get lazy. And then you'll be crying like, oh, it's not like it used to be. You used to buy me flowers because you told him he didn't have to try. Like, what? Some of y'all are showing why y'all single. I'm just saying. They go on a water park date, and the announcer is too funny talking about we getting Jeremiah ready for the dad life. I'm like, bro, this announcer, this narrator, now he got the dad jokes and the elevator jokes. Okay, I'm living for it. But on that water date, I've only watched 2 seasons of Love Island. Do they send people on dates like this? Like, I know they go on dates like last season with Rob and the old girl. They went like had like a little beach picnic, play some volleyball or some shit like that. But like on a date like this, have they ever done that for anybody? And have they done it a weekend? That's the major thing. But on this date though, they do have some good conversations. Huda does state that she has a healthy co-parenting relationship with her baby daddy, and I'm like, that's good. That's a good thing to know. And Jeremiah just basically shares that he has basic worries about dating somebody with kids. He's never done it before. I don't know what's gonna be like living with a child. Will she like me? Basic concerns. I myself have talked to a few dudes that have kids. That's not my preference. That's not my preference at all. But I'm not gonna hold you. 9 times out of 10, they baby mamas is not around. I'm talking about like out of state. I'm talking about the guys have full custody types. Like that's the way I like it. If I date a dude with kids, that's the way I like it, because But when you date somebody with kids, I feel like my biggest worry is the baby mama or will the child like me? I'm not gonna say I don't like kids, but like I didn't grow up with kids. All of my cousins, we all the same age. You know what I'm saying? I'd never just had a kid that I was just around. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, kids make me uncomfortable. It's like no matter how old you are, like you can be 10 and I'm still talking to you like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like, is it just me? Okay, it's just me. This part right here. They also talk about, life outside of Love Island and their living situation. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that, it's not going to be a rush to live together, but, we'll be cool with the long distance. And then did Jeremiah say something about she could move to California? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what I heard. And if that is what I heard, so Huda, you cool with uprooting your 4-year-old child to go live halfway around the country? Like, you cool with that? Is you cool? Huh. Interesting. I don't watch Never Ever Mets, but I like my mom does. So I popped in one time and she was watching it, and I was like, hey, it's a girl and a guy, Never Ever Met, say like long distance relationship types, like. And I feel like I'm just talking on this one. I'm just chilling. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm just talking right now, so excuse me. But it's a couple on the Never Ever Met, and that's long distance, and they meet up or whatever. And she has a child, and she lives in Chicago, and he doesn't have any kids, and he lives in Atlanta. He wants her to move to Atlanta, and she doesn't feel comfortable uprooting her child to move to Atlanta. And I was like, well, what's the reason he wants her to move to Atlanta, Mom? And she was like, he don't have a reason. And then the boy said, well, I could pick up my laptop just like you could pick up your laptop. So I'm like, well, if you can move to Chicago, then why you want her to move to Atlanta? Like, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, her reasoning for not moving to Atlanta was she's a single mom. Her support system is in Chicago. She don't want to uproot her child from the friends and the school system that they're already in. She don't want to do that. So when she explained it, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But Huda, on the other hand, she's so, I was about to say digmatized, that she will literally uproot her kid, move away from her family to go live in California with Jeremiah. Now, I could be wrong about the whole conversation, But if I'm right, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So quick too, just so quick. Bitch, it's been a week and you already ready to uproot your child and go live across the country with this dude if y'all continue to work out. That's, I don't know. But at the very end of the episode, I think Huda asked Jeremiah if they could close out their relationship, and he was like, nah. And she was like, oh, why are you keeping your options open? He was like, nah, I mean, I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna, make me turn my head, but, give me a kiss. I said, ooh, bitch, he don't want to close off with you. Yikes. I don't think I would have given him a kiss. I would have leaned back. What you mean? You waiting for some more bombshells to come up and exchange you. See, I don't see. Maybe that's why I'm single. Let's go ahead and get into Ace and Amaya. This is probably the main point of this episode, the biggest controversy of this episode. Right after recoupling, Ace tells Amaya that he's a slow burner and he's still exploring his options and etc. And she was like, this conversation could have waited till tomorrow, but okay. And I was like, I feel like he could have told you now, but I definitely understand saying that it could have waited till tomorrow because we just sat down. Nigga, like, I know you're still exploring. It's Love Island. Nobody said that we in a relationship. Nobody said we go together real bad. Nobody said that we closed off. You just picked me. So why did you feel the need to reiterate that? So I definitely understand Amaya in that sense. And then she said, you know what? This conversation is really giving player vibes. And I was like, I don't know about player vibes per se. I feel like player vibes is doing all of that with you and still, exploring openly. That's to me, player vibes. Like telling you and being all with you and then going to do whatever he do. Kind of like Nick. That's giving player vibes. So yeah. And this, at first I was confused because she just started crying. I was like, what the hell? I said, did I miss a part of the conversation? Is she just crying because he said that he still, why is she crying? And then she goes to talk to Huda about it. I was like, first off, that's a weird choice. The girl who's just calling you a bitch the other day, that's a weird choice, but okay, go off, sis. And Huda gives her a pep talk and says, you need to make him earn you. You are the prize. Really, Huda? Because just 5 minutes ago when you was talking to Jeremiah, you told him he didn't even have to try with you. Huh. I don't even think he had to work hard to earn you. Interesting. But okay, it's easier to give advice than to take your own advice. Later on in the episode, they have another Ace and might have another sit down, and he tells her the same thing. Like, he's like, what do you usually call? And this was a very weird question, by the way, unless he did it because of the breakfast situation. So when he brought her breakfast in the morning, she said, oh, thanks, babe. And then, then they had to sit down, and he was like, what do you usually call the people that that you talk to, that you're in a relationship with? And she was like, I either make up my own nickname or I call them babe, baby, And he's like, oh, yeah. I don't like that. Okay. So basically, and then she says, that's kind of just like how I talk. Like, I don't really be meaning anything by it. And I 100% understand Amaya when she says this, because I say it all the time. I'm like, babe, no. And I don't even know. I don't even know these people. But I'm like, no, babe, hold on, baby. Like, calm down. Like, that's just how I talk. So I understand Amaya saying that. And Ace, long story short, Ace is trying to run Amaya off. He nitpicking. He probably saying that don't even really. He said he don't like hand holding. We ain't cuddling tonight. Don't even breathe on me, bitch. Like, he didn't say that. But like, he's really nitpicking. He's giving up a laundry list of things that he don't like to do, that he don't want to do, that he won't do. And I'm like, okay, for what? Because I don't recall you having this conversation with Shelly. I don't recall you having this conversation with Shelly. But one thing I did like about Amaya is Amaya wasn't here for his bullshit. Like, Amaya accent came out. A whole accent that I didn't know was there. And I even Googled her ethnicity because I said, what is this slang? What is it? Not slang. What is this vernacular? What is this accent? She's Dominican, y'all. Dominican and German. But I was like, yeah, that's how I know she upset. She was not playing with him. She was like, okay, well, you can continue to explore, baby. Do your thing. So then at night, he wants to have another sit down. And like, hey, our last conversation didn't really go off too well. No, it didn't. Yeah, I just really want to reiterate, like, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Like, I just want to explore. Nigga, okay, bro. Like, every time you talk to me, you're telling me what you won't do, bro. It's like, stop talking to me. But I still want to be friends. I don't even want to be your friend. She didn't say this. That's me going off on him. I don't even want to be your friend. I don't even want to talk to you because I might say something that makes you uncomfortable. Boy, the way I would have cussed Ace out. But yeah, long story short, Ace is trying to run Amaya off. And he regrets choosing Amaya. And you want to know who else regrets Ace choosing Amaya? Austin. Austin hates the fact that Ace chose Amaya because it's so clear that Ace wants Shelly and Austin wants Amaya. Boy, Austin had a little fit, didn't he? Boy, he threw a little fit today. But in next week's episode, Amaya and Shelly are going at it, and it seems like it's about Ace. Because in this episode, Amaya confided in Shelly about Ace wishy-washy ways. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she knew they had a connection like that. So I gotta see what's gonna happen next episode that's gonna lead to this blow up, you guys. But you guys, thank y'all so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you. Look. If you stayed to the end, I really, really, really appreciate you because I felt like I was kind of rambling in this video. A good ramble. I feel like I was talking like on the phone with my friends. Honestly, that's how I felt. That's why y'all got some background information about me. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for making it to this point. Please engage with the video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new. I drop shorts immediately after the episodes or after I watch the episode. Tonight was a little bit late because of the BET Awards. Look at that review as well. And then, of course, I drop my review the very next morning. So turn on the post notification bell so you can be alerted every time I do that. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.